Heat shimmers above a sea of grass, and the wind lifts golden dust into slow-moving curtains. This is the wild savannah, open country ruled by sun, storms, and the quiet logic of survival. Here, life balances on seconds. Hoofbeats thunder toward distant waterholes, lions raid the wind, and even the smallest hunter can tip the day. Tonight, stealth meets venom, an African wildcat ghosting through the grass, a venomous snake coiled in perfect patience. No heroes, no villains, only those who endure. From acacia flats to floodplain lagoons, this land stitches together elephants, giraffes, hyenas, buffalo, cheetahs, and 1,000 wary antelope into one living system. We're diving into ambushes, migrations, near misses, and miracles. Tell us in the comments where you're watching from and which survivor you'd bet on. In the savannah's dark, 2 ears rise like periscopes above the grass. The aardvark is awake, built for silence, tuned to the tiniest rustle. No roar, no roarers, just a solitary night worker carving a living where the ground looks empty. Meet the African aardvark, the quiet engineer of sub-Saharan savannas and thorn scrub. In Afrikaans, its name means earth pig, and one glance makes sense of it. Pig-like snout, rabbit-like ears, a sturdy tail, and a set of digging claws that turn hard pan into confetti. It's the last surviving member of its own ancient order, Tubulidentata, a living one-of-one in nature's lineup. At first, the aardvark looks like a committee couldn't decide on a design, but every piece is sculpted by survival. The body is low and muscular, wrapped in thick, gray-brown skin, sparsely brushed with hair, a practical armor against thorns, and the nips of soldier termites. Long, upright ears act like twin radiators, shedding heat on sweltering nights while catching the softest sounds under the wind. The snout, elongated and flexible, is a scent machine. Nostrils can clamp shut when dust flies. Eyes are modest, smell and hearing run the show. Up front, 4 shovel-toed forefeet wear heavy, curved claws, more like compact pickaxes than nails. Behind, 5-toed hind feet anchor each stroke. The tail is thick and counterweighted, a stabilizer as the aardvark tunnels. Inside the mouth lies its signature toolkit, a sticky, worm-long tongue that can reach about 30 centimeters, and teeth unlike anyone else's. No enamel, just thousands of microscopic tubes of dentin that grow continuously, perfect for a diet that grinds grit with every mouthful. Fold-flat ears, sealable nostrils, heavy lids. This creature is basically a dust-proof, burrow-ready appliance built to turn the earth into dinner. Day is for hiding. Deep in a self-made burrow, the aardvark rides out the heat inside a cool, oxygen-rich microclimate. As dusk softens the veld, it climbs out, pauses to listen, ears swiveling, nose tasting the air, and sets off at a steady, purposeful shuffle. It favors moonless hours, skirting open patches and traveling several kilometers in a night along habitual routes. Dinner is ants and termites, and the technique is precise. First, detect. That nose finds active mounds under soil that looks dead to us. Then, breach. Foreclaws punch and rake, breaking crust the way a can opener finds a seam. Ears fold back to block dust, nostrils pinch shut. Finally, sweep. The tongue lashes into narrow galleries, painting walls with sticky saliva, rolling back out loaded with termites by the thousands. The aardvark doesn't linger when soldiers swarm. It opens, feasts, moves on, avoiding a full-scale termite riot. Between mounds, it nips occasional fruits or tubers for moisture, but insects are the main economy. Tens of thousands a night, sometimes more. If danger pricks the air, hyena, leopard, even a python, the aardvark has two speeds, gone and digging. It sprints in short bursts to the nearest bolt hole or drills a fresh one on the spot, vanishing into a shower of dirt like a magician's trapdoor. Only cornered does it wheel around, claws forward, back braced against a wall, and fight. Aardvarks are solitary contractors. Each adult keeps a home range with multiple burrows, some deep with several exits, others motels used for a night or two. They communicate more by scent than by sound, marking paths and burrow mouths with secretions and urine. Overlaps happen, but meetings are brief. Nose touch, a grunt, and someone yields the trail. Think of them as neighbors who wave, then go right back to work. Breeding is seasonal in many regions. After a gestation of about 7 months, a single cub, rosy, wrinkled, and surprisingly sturdy, arrives in the burrow. Within a couple of weeks, it ventures out for short tutorials, learning the art of listening before digging. Weaning comes around 3 months. Independence follows by 6 months to a year, when the young aardvark starts drafting its own underground blueprint. Parenting is practical and protective. Move burrows if predators memorize the address, keep entrances tidy, and teach the cub the simple rule: when in doubt, down. Call the aardvark what it is, an ecosystem engineer. Its tunnels aerate soil, redistribute nutrients, and funnel rain into hard ground. When abandoned, these burrows become prime real estate, refuge for warthogs, jackals, honey badgers, porcupines, owls, snakes, even wild dogs with pups. By harvesting termites and ants, it helps keep herbivore-eating insect empires in check. It's listed as least concern overall, but local pressures bite. Habitat loss, bushmeat, snares, and droughts that crash insect numbers, forcing risky daylight foraging. Yet its toolkit, heat-dumping ears, dust-blocking nostrils, endlessly growing teeth, remains a masterclass in desert edge life. In a world that applauds the loud and the flashy, the aardvark is proof that quiet persistence wins. It embodies the spirit of survival against all odds. One careful step, one secret tunnel, one ancient strategy at a time. In the golden hush before sunrise, a small antelope draws a bright line between life and death, with nothing but legs and nerve. Ears high, heart steady, the Thomson's gazelle stands in the Serengeti's open stage and dares anything to catch it. Built for sprinting and swerving, this Tommy turns danger into a dance the plains have watched for 1,000,000 mornings. Meet the Thomson's gazelle of East Africa's wide savannas, from the Serengeti to the Masai Mara. Light as a whisper and quick as a gasp, Tommies stand around 60 to 80 centimeters at the shoulder and weigh under 30 kilograms. You'll know them by that bold black side stripe, a crisp signature against a wheat-colored coat, and a snow-white rump that flashes like a signal in tall grass. Not big, not armored, just exquisitely tuned. Painted by the savannah itself, the Thomson's gazelle wears a tan back that mirrors sun-baked grass, a stark black stripe that breaks up its outline, and clean white underparts that reflect heat. A dark smudge runs from eye to nose, as if lined with coal, shading the eyes from glare. Both sexes carry horns, slender, lyrate, and ringed, with males sporting longer, thicker arcs and females slimmer, straighter spikes. Long, delicate legs hide steel spring tendons. Every tendon is a loaded bow, storing and releasing energy so strides stay long and efficient. The hooves are sharp, narrow cleats designed for instant pivots, and that signature zigzag. A tufted black tail flicks like a metronome, swatting flies and signaling mood. Large ears act like satellite dishes, swiveling to catch the faintest footfall of a stalker. Under the skin, a big heart and lungs feed oxygen to high-octane muscles. Even their capillaries and tendons are sculpted by evolution to dump heat fast so the engine doesn't overheat. Fawns arrive striped and soft, with low scent and a stillness reflex that makes them disappear into the grass, camouflage with a heartbeat. Daylight is their comfort zone. At dawn and late afternoon, Tommies graze low carpets of fresh, green blades, nibbling like meticulous gardeners. They favor short grass lawns sparked by recent rain, often clipping stems to just the right height for tender regrowth. Midday, they drift to scattered acacias for shade, chewing and watching the horizon that never stops moving. When a predator shows, the ballet begins. A Thomson's gazelle can hit around 80 kilometers per hour in a heartbeat, but the real magic is control. Hairpin turns, slingshot accelerations, and sudden zigzags that leave even a cheetah second-guessing the angles. Sometimes they stot, high, stiff-legged leaps, broadcasting, "I'm fit, don't waste your energy." Mothers park newborns, slipping away to feed and returning to nurse. For those first fragile days, the safest move is no movement at all. As the dry season takes the color out of the grass and water holes shrink, Tommies follow storms and green shoots. They merge with wildebeest, zebras, and Grant's gazelles in a living river that rolls between the Serengeti and the Masai Mara. Millions of hooves sketching a map of rain across the plains. Community here is fluid but patterned. Females and their young form loose herds, safety in numbers, and many eyes stitched into a shifting circle. Young males drift in bachelor groups, training wheels for adulthood, sparring with gentle horn taps that sometimes turn serious. Mature males stake out territories on the best short grass, posting with proud head-high strides, tail flicks, and a suite of persuasive nudges to keep passing females browsing a little longer. They scent mark with preorbital glands, painting stems and grass tips, and build dung middens that say, "Address occupied." When rivals cross the line, the duel is a choreography of head-low feints, horn locks, and quick sidesteps. Most contests end with dignity intact and a clear boundary redrawn. Calving peaks with the reins when grass is sweetest. Mothers are master strategists, slipping away from the herd to birth, hiding fawns, and timing reunions around wind and cover, turning vulnerability into a vanishing act. Tommies are the lawn keepers of the savannah. Their tight grazing keeps grasslands trimmed, encouraging nutrient-rich regrowth that benefits a whole neighborhood. Topi, hartebeest, and even the wildebeest tied behind them. Seeds hitch rides through their guts and germinate in neat, fertilized packets. They are also a cornerstone of the predator economy. Chief quarry for cheetahs, fair game for lions, hyenas, wild dogs, and jackals that target fawns. Tracking rains and short grass, their migrations stitch together ecosystems and keep energy flowing. Though still abundant in protected strongholds, they face fences, shrinking rangelands, and poaching. Today, the species is listed as near threatened, with community conservancies and cross-border corridors offering the best path forward. In a world where the rules are written in dust and wind, the Thomson's gazelle is a reminder that grace can be armor, and timing can be salvation. Small, bright, and relentless, The Tommy embodies the spirit of survival against all odds on the open savanna. In the gold-washed dawn, the grass seems quiet until the earth begins to hum. A river of black and white flows across the savanna, stripes flickering like Morse code for survival. This is where speed, nerve, and timing decide who sees sunset. In the wild savannas, survival against all odds has a name you know: zebra. Meet the plains zebra of the Serengeti Mara ecosystem, ranging across Tanzania into Kenya on an 800-kilometer migration that rides the pulse of the rains. These are the heavyweight grazers in pinstripe suits, over 2 meters long, up to 300 kilos. And every stripe matters. In a world of claws and ambush, they carry no fangs, only hooves and heart, and a kick that can turn a lion's plan into a lesson. Painted by evolution in bold contrast, a zebra's coat is more than fashion, it's function. Those stripes help manage heat by creating tiny air currents along the skin, nature's built-in radiator. In motion, the pattern scrambles a predator's focus, turning one target into a shimmering puzzle of many. It even cuts down on attacks from blood-feeding insects, whose compound eyes don't love high-contrast flicker. No two zebras share the same pattern. To a foal, its mother's unique barcode is the difference between safety and getting lost in a moving maze. Upright manes, big swiveling ears, and wide, watchful eyes keep the horizon scanned. Muscled hindquarters store explosive power. A well-placed double kick can crack bone. High-crowned teeth grind tough, sun-hardened grasses all day, while hard, shock-absorbing hooves turn dust, thorns, and distance into just another road. Daylight favors them. Zebras spend early mornings and late afternoons grazing, then drift toward water as heat tightens its grip. They're hindgut fermenters, meaning their digestive system churns through coarse grasses others might avoid, making them the lawn mowers that go first. They'll clip down the rough stuff, and behind them come wildebeest and gazelles for the tender regrowth. The herd travels in steady stages, noses low, tails flicking, a drumbeat of hooves under birdsong and wind. When danger flares, lions shadowing the edges, a hyena drifting too close, zebras pivot into a zigzag sprint at over 60 kilometers an hour, stripes blending into living static. The Mara River is their final exam. Murky water, hidden jaws, everything on the line. They pause, bunch tight, and then surge. Spray, braying, panic, and courage in equal measure, while crocodiles coil and strike. Many make it, some do not. The migration writes its truth in wet footprints and silence. Family here is a moving fortress. Most zebras form harems led by a dominant stallion with several mares and their foals. He's the rear guard and the battering ram, holding off predators and rival males with biting feints and brutal kicks. Mares are the quiet architects of stability, strong bonds, synchronized movement, shared vigilance. Foals imprint on their mother's stripes within hours. It's their home address in a city of lookalikes. Gestation runs 12 to 13 months, typically one foal born, up on shaky legs within minutes and trotting soon after, because on this stage, late starts are costly. Less than half make it through their first year, a statistic that never gets easier to say. Bachelor males run in separate bands, practicing the choreography of power until a chance opens to lead a harem. Greetings are nose to nose, lips quivering, breath trading story and scent. Mutual grooming knits the group, scratching itchy places and stress at the same time. Zebras are ecosystem engineers in stripes. By grazing the coarse layer first, they trigger new growth that feeds a web of other herbivores, while their hooves break crusted soil, letting rain sink and seeds take root. Dung spreads nutrients and plants across the plains, and yes, it's unglamorous, but fertile. They're also a major energy source for lions, hyenas, crocodiles, and wild dogs, keeping predator families alive and teaching young hunters how the world works. Their greatest threat doesn't always have teeth, fencing that blocks migration, snares, and shrinking corridors. Plains zebras are listed as near threatened, a warning label we can still change. In the end, the zebra is a moving anthem, courage in contrast, rhythm in dust. It embodies the spirit of the savannah. Keep moving, keep together, and turn the odds into a road you can run. In sunlit grass that crackles like paper, two radar dishes swivel. Their ears, giant, alert, and tuned to whispers most of us will never hear. A serval, all legs and focus, coils like a spring, and rockets almost 3 meters straight up. Today, though, the grass hides not a mouse, but a snake. Precision meets venom. Meet the serval, the long-legged wildcat of Africa's savannas and wetland edges, from open plains to reed beds where frogs and mice write the menu. Sleek, silent, and engineered for accuracy, this feline wins not with brute force, but with timing. Those towering ears and that vertical leap, they turn tall grass into a hunting ground where sound becomes a map. Painted in gold and ink, the serval wears a coat of bold black spots and stripes that melt into grass shadows. Evolution sculpted a small wedge-shaped head atop a long swan-like neck, then went full runway model on the legs, the longest relative to body size of any wild cat. This design is not for show, it's for reach, stride, and that signature ballistic pounce. Broad oval ears, satellite dishes covered in velvet, rotate like turrets, triangulating the tiniest rustle, even the ultrasonic squeaks of rodents. A short, ringed tail stays out of the weeds. Wide-set eyes scan beneath the blades. Lean muscle and a flexible spine load like a bow and release with explosive lift, sending the cat skyward to snatch birds mid-flight or hammer down on hidden prey. The coat's pattern breaks the outline in dappled light, while tough paw pads cushion landings and muffle steps. Everything about this cat says one thing: tall grass is home turf, and the serval is built to rule its vertical world. The serval's craft is patience sharpened to a point. Dawn and dusk are prime time, with nighttime patrols along wet meadows, termite mounds, and the damp margins where frogs, lizards, and field mice go about their risky business. It hunts by listening first, then ghosting forward, placing feet like careful punctuation. Sometimes it taps the ground to flush a victim. Sometimes it freezes, then launches, forepaws hammering down to stun with startling accuracy. Success here is famous. Servals often land more kills per attempt than bigger cats, a tribute to their sound first, strike later style. Birds lifting in panic get chased with a pogo stick leap. Rodents beneath the thatch are pinned by lightning-fast paws and dispatched with a neat bite. And when the grass reveals a snake, the serval shifts gears. Low body, eyes locked, feints to draw a strike, a precise cuff to the head. One hiss, one blur, silence. Calm, steady breaths follow the win, but never for long. In the savannah, triumph is a door that swings both ways. Lions, leopards, and hyenas redraw the schedule, and the little long legs keeps its route flexible, its exits memorized. Servals live solo, professionals who share their calendar with no one. Males and females maintain overlapping home ranges, announced with scent marks, sprays on grass stems, cheek rubs on trails, scratch posts written in claw script. Meetings are brief and purposeful during breeding windows, which often follow rains. After a roughly 2.5-month gestation, the female tucks 1 to 4 kittens into a hidden den, thick grass, an old aardvark hole, or a sheltered tangle. She does the heavy lifting alone, nursing, relocating the den when danger gets familiar, and later teaching the syllabus: listen, triangulate, explode. Kittens practice pounces on beetles and shadows, graduating to real prey by 4 to 5 months. By 6 to 12 months, they step out to claim their own quiet circuits. Communication stays understated: purrs, chirps, growls, and a tail that talks in commas and exclamation points. Conflict is avoided by timing and distance. The serval's best argument is to be elsewhere. Think of the serval as the savannah's quality control inspector for small animals. By keeping rodent numbers in check, it helps crops near village edges and balances disease cycles. It ferries nutrients across habitats, transferring energy from wetlands to grasslands, and serves as a health indicator for reed beds and marshes where it hunts. Specialized hearing, stilt legs, and that vertical pounce give it one of the highest hunting success rates among wild cats. Listed as least concern, it still dodges snares, habitat loss, wetland drainage, and persecution around poultry. Where communities protect wetlands and secure chicken coops, the serval keeps doing what nature hired it to do: fine-tune the food web. In a land that favors the loud and the large, the serval is a quiet rebuttal, a symbol of precision, patience, and poise. It embodies the spirit of survival against all odds, proving that in the wild savannas, the softest sound can guide the sharpest life.
In the brown churn of the Mara River, a shadow rises, huge, silent, and watching. Lions pace the bank, crocodiles ghost beneath the surface, but the water itself has a ruler. When a hippo yawns, it isn't greeting the day. It's opening a warning as wide as a suitcase lid. Here, survival has a shoreline, and the hippo draws it. Meet the common hippopotamus, Hippopotamus amphibius, sovereign of East Africa's great rivers and floodplains, from the Mara's dangerous bends to quiet oxbow pools. Barrel-bodied, low-slung, and strangely graceful in water, the hippo turns dusk red with its natural skin secretion and daylight calm into curfew with a single glare. Stretched to nearly 4 meters in length and wrapped in armor up to 5 centimeters thick, the hippo looks like a living boulder sculpted by floodwater. Its slate gray skin, often blushed pink, oozes a red-tinted blood sweat, a natural sunscreen and antiseptic that glows in evening light. The head is a fortress, eyes, ears, and nostrils perched high like a periscope, so the rest of the body can stay submerged and cool. With a gape that feels almost 180 degrees, a hippo's jaws reveal lower canines that can approach 1/2 meter, tusks honed by grinding that can shatter bone. Dense bones and a heavy build mean hippos don't truly swim. They walk and bound along the riverbed, pushing off like astronauts in slow motion. Nostrils clamp shut, ears fold tight, and lungs hold steady for 4 to 5 minutes at a time. On land, this water cow surprises everyone. It can sprint up to 30 kilometers per hour in a short, bulldozer burst, toes splayed and sure-footed on mud. Everything about the hippo is a compromise perfected. Heat managed by water, threat displayed by jaw, and safety found by keeping most of itself just below the surface. By day, the river is home base. Hippos bob like half-sunken islands, surfacing with a soft whoof every couple of minutes, blinking away dragonflies and heat. Bulls patrol their stretches with theatrical warnings, dung spraying with a whirring tail, a pink cavern of a yawn, and a stomp that says, "Pick another channel." They don't hunt. When night cools the banks, they file out in single lines, tracing hippo highways to graze on up to 40 kilograms of grass. It's a quiet harvest. Heads down, moonlit backs, miles walked on memory. Back at the water, the calm can snap. Crocodiles slide in like driftwood with teeth, and lions test the edges when thirst drives them to drink. Most days detente holds. Some days the river erupts. A careless calf strays, a shadow rises, and chaos breaks the surface. Then a mother launches, a ton of fury and momentum, ramming, biting, and turning the Mara into a battlefield. The herbivore's secret isn't claws, it's conviction. Most conflicts end with one bull backing away, bluff called. But everyone along this bank knows, a hippo's temper, once lit, can end anything that doesn't retreat. Hippos live in pods that can number a few dozen, females, youngsters, and a dominant bull who owns the address. He enforces river etiquette. They keep the peace by proximity. It's a system of personal space and clear lanes, with arguments settled in stages, stares, yawns, splashes, chases, and if needed, skull-to-skull claps that echo like drum beats. Females are the quiet architects of the herd. Pregnancy lasts about 8 months, and birth usually happens in the water, privacy provided by depth and mud. Calves arrive at around 40 kilograms, buoyant and fearless, sipping air and milk beneath the surface, sometimes riding on mom's broad back when the river gets busy. Mothers form a protective bubble around their young, and neighbors often help keep the herd tight. Threats are rare for adults. The danger concentrates on calves. In those moments, the pod closes ranks. One unforgettable scene. A crocodile takes the wrong risk, and the mother's charge ends the story. In the Mara, maternal love is not a poem, it's a force. Hippos are night shift lawnmowers that move nutrients from grasslands to rivers. Their grazing shapes savannah regrowth. Their dung feeds fish, insects, and a whole chain of river life, even as it can stress stagnant pools in drought. They carve hippo highways through reeds, opening channels for smaller species. As near-invincible adults, they anchor the river's pecking order, setting boundaries crocs and big cats learn to respect. Yet beyond the park lines, hippos face shrinking wetlands, conflict with farms, and poaching for meat and ivory-like teeth. Officially listed as vulnerable, they survive where water flows, corridors connect, and people choose coexistence. In a landscape where odds stack fast, teeth to thirst, dusk to danger, the hippo stands as a reminder that power isn't just muscle, it's calm, community, and the ferocious promise a mother keeps.
On the Mara River, the surface looks calm enough to drink. Under it, a shadow with golden eyes doesn't blink for an hour. The Nile crocodile waits, patient as stone, ready to turn a crossing into a history lesson in fear. Meet the Nile crocodile of East Africa's Mara River, the ancient ambush predator that rules the boundary between savanna and water. When zebra and wildebeest flood the crossings, these reptiles become the gatekeepers of life and death. They're built for stillness, and then for sudden violence. A log, a lightning strike, a lockjaw. Painted in olive and mud brown, the Nile crocodile wears armor the way knights wish they could, overlapping scales studded with bony plates called osteoderms. A big adult can stretch past 5 meters and tip the scales at over 700 kilograms, a living submarine with a ridged tail like a carved oar. Eyes, ears, and nostrils sit high on the skull, so the rest of the animal can vanish below the skin of the river. A clear third eyelid sweeps across the eye like a diver's goggle, and a special valve seals the throat so it can bite underwater without drowning. Along the jaws, pinhead-sized sensory pits read ripples the way our fingertips read braille. Any kick, any panic, any chance. The mouth is a warehouse of conical teeth designed to grab, not chew, backed by a bite force among the strongest ever measured, more than enough to crush bone. Under the hood, a powerful tail provides the launch. A 4-chambered heart with clever plumbing helps stretch dive times. Heat stored in those armored plates turns twilight into hunting fuel. Camouflage, armor, engine, every line says patience backed by power. The strategy is simple and devastating. For hours, a crocodile floats like driftwood, barely rippling the surface. Then a zebra steps too far from the herd, a wildebeest hesitates, and the river erupts. The croc explodes from below, clamps shut, and drives the catch into deeper water. If the prey fights, the crocodile begins the infamous death roll, body whipping in a tight spiral, tearing flesh into manageable pieces. They often stash leftovers under submerged branches, a macabre pantry for lean days. Thanks to a slow metabolism, a feast today can fuel weeks or even months. They warm up under the sun with mouths agape. Not a yawn, a radiator. Activity peaks at dusk and night, but migration season changes the calendar. Daylight crossings become feeding hours. Crocs memorize the best ambush angles, eddies, and shallow shelves, spacing themselves along favored entry points like professionals at a finish line. They don't waste energy. They wait. And when it matters, they spend it all in one perfect strike. Nile crocodiles are solitary hunters, but the river is neutral ground during the great crossings. Dozens may line the channel, yet order exists. The biggest bodies claim the best spots and first bites. Communication is real if subtle. Low rumbles that shiver the water, head slaps that say back off. Courtship is equally underwater and understated. Bubbles, nudges, a slow dance in the current. Females haul up to sandy banks to dig nests and deposit 25 to 80 eggs. For months, a mother guards that buried treasure from monitor lizards and raiding birds. When the hatchlings chirp from their shells, she carefully gathers them into her mouth, gentle for a mouth built to break, and ferries them to the shallows. A creche of tiny crocs huddles near reeds, protected as best as any parent can in a hungry world. Most won't make it. Other crocodiles, raptors, even giant catfish pick them off. Adults have few enemies, though hippos will bulldoze a croc in the wrong place at the wrong time. Out here, respect is measured in scars. At the edge of the savannah, crocodiles are both apex predator and sanitation crew. They cull the weak, clean up carcasses and move nutrients from land to water with every dragged down antelope. Their nests reshape riverbanks. Their presence shapes where and how entire herds cross. Evolution gave them tools that still work: stealth skin, sensory pits, a dive-ready throat, patience tuned to perfection. They're listed as least concern globally, but face local pressures, habitat loss, entanglement in fishing gear, retaliation, and illegal skin trade. Even nest temperatures skew sex ratios, a quiet climate warning written in sand. In a world where hesitation is a headline, the Nile crocodile is the editor. It is a symbol of ancient patience and raw precision, proof that survival in the wild savannas often belongs to those who wait, then move like thunder. In the gold-washed grass just after sunrise, a jackal trots like a whisper with teeth. Small body, big job. Those radar dish ears tilt, amber eyes scan, and the savannah's rumor mill comes alive. In a world of lions and hyenas, the jackal survives by turning clever into an art form. Meet the black-backed jackal of East and Southern Africa's open savannas. From the Serengeti and Masai Mara to the Kalahari's thirsty plains. Sleek, sharp, and endlessly resourceful, it's the little carnivore that refuses to be overlooked. That black saddle on its back isn't just stylish. Think of it as nature's calling card for a specialist at living between giants. Sculpted by sun and scarcity, the jackal is less than a meter from nose to tail and stands under half a meter at the shoulder. Most weigh around 8 to 12 kilograms, though a well-fed individual can nudge a little higher. The coat is painted tawny red along the flanks and legs, dusted with white along the chest, and capped by a striking dark saddle of black and silver hairs down the back. A brushy tail ends with a neat black tip, like punctuation on a sentence that keeps moving. Oversized ears do double duty. They shed heat and pull in faint sounds, a rodent rustle, a vulture flap, the gossip of hyenas beyond the ridge. Amber eyes sit forward for depth perception, and a long, narrow muzzle houses a set of sharp, shearing teeth perfect for mice, hares, insects, and strips of carrion. Tough, rubbery pads let the jackal trot for miles, economy car efficient, while the slender frame slips through tall grass like a needle. Even the whiskers are tools, reading the wind and the world as it passes. Everything about this animal is minimalist engineering, light, precise, built to make a little energy go a long way. Jackals are timing experts. They shine at dawn and dusk, adjusting to heat, competition, and opportunity. Breakfast might be a grasshopper hatch or a field mouse teased from its tunnel with a stiff-legged pounce that looks playful, until you notice the precision. Lunch could be berries or fallen fruit. Yes, this carnivore is happy to snack plant-based when it pays. And dinner might be the leftovers from a lion's kill once the bellowing stops and the big cats are full. They read the savannah like a book. Vultures circling, follow. Hyenas whooping. Maybe there's a carcass. Termite mounds after rain. That's protein with crunch. When the moment's right, jackals turn swift and surgical. Short chases for scrub hares, quick raids on ground nests, and occasionally a coordinated dash to nab a newborn antelope before it finds its legs. Food gets cached in small holes, buried for leaner times. They mark invisible maps with scent posts, trot their borders, and keep their heads on a swivel. Predators, lions, leopards, hyenas, even martial eagles keep the don't get cocky lesson current. The jackal's answer is vigilance, zigzag footwork, and a talent for disappearing into grass that looks taller than it is. Despite the lone wolf reputation, jackals are often family first. A bonded pair stakes a territory and holds it with duet calls, yips and wails that sound like laughter until you realize it's a declaration. This patch is taken. Older offspring sometimes stick around as helpers, a small cooperative crew that babysits, escorts, and delivers meals. Pups are born in dugouts or borrowed burrows. Aardvark real estate is prime, usually 2 to 6 at a time after about 2 months of gestation. Both parents dote. They bring food back and even share it the old-fashioned way, gently regurgitated dinners, a tender and very effective delivery system. Dens get moved if hyenas snoop or the wind tells of danger. Play is training, stalk, pounce, tug, repeat, until the games turn into life skills. As subadults mature, some disperse to stitch new lives onto the savannah's patchwork, while the core pair keeps their territories beat steady. Jackals are the cleanup crew, and the pest control team rolled into one nimble body. They trim rodent populations, snap up insects, and strip carcasses so disease doesn't get a foothold. When they eat fruit, they disperse seeds with fertilizer attached, savannah gardeners with paws. Their evolutionary ace is flexibility, hot weather endurance, a fuel-sipping trot, senses tuned to quiet clues, and a diet wide enough to handle feast or famine. Threats come from snares, persecution around livestock, and diseases like rabies or distemper. But across much of their range, black-backed jackals remain listed as least concern, tough, adaptable, and still holding their line. In a land that worships size and speed, the jackal is proof that wit is a superpower. It embodies the spirit of survival against all odds. Small flame, steady in the wind, lighting the way through the wild savannas. In the tawny grass where heat shimmers like glass, a leopard halts mid-step. One breath, one heartbeat, one perfect chance. No fanfare, no roar, just a ghost with muscles, slipping between sun and shadow. In the wild savannas, invisibility is its loudest weapon. Meet the African leopard of the savannas and riverine thickets, from Botswana's floodplains to the Serengeti's endless grass. It is Africa's most adaptable big cat, a solitary specialist that thrives anywhere a shadow exists. Draped in golden fur, inked with dark rosettes and lit by green-amber eyes, the leopard looks like dusk given a spine. Painted by evolution for both beauty and ambush, the leopard wears a coat of gold dusted with black rosettes that splinter its outline into harmless pieces of light and leaf. Wide padded paws whisper across sand and branch alike, while retractable claws stay razor sharp for the split second that matters. A thick, muscular neck, deep chest, and spring steel shoulders let it lift prey heavier than itself. Then, hoist the prize into a tree like a weightlifter who never skipped leg day. The tail, long and banded, is a living rudder, counterbalancing along bark and bending branch. Whiskers measure tight spaces. Ears pivot to catch the softest footfall. Short, dense fur shrugs off thorns and heat, and those amber-green eyes drink in twilight, turning dusk into hunting hour. Everything about this cat is a compromise in the leopard's favor. Strength without bulk, speed without waste, camouflage without stillness. Patience is the leopard's trademark. It will track a gazelle, a warthog piglet, or a careless baboon through tall grass and thorn scrub for an hour or more, mapping every turn of the wind. When it moves like a falling leaf, graceful, quiet, inevitable. The strike is close range, a short, explosive burst, a forelimb hook, and a precise, suffocating bite. If competition prowls nearby, the kill goes treeward, slung over a branch beyond the reach of hyenas and prying lions. Most activity comes at twilight and night, when the world cools and the cat's eyes rule. By day, it melts into brush or naps draped over an acacia limb like a spotted hammock. In Botswana's savannas, a mother may test risk against reward when hunger gnaws, edging toward a wild dog pack to snatch a wandering pup. But one dog means all dogs, a boiling, barking wall of teeth that can force even a leopard to vanish. She abandons the attempt and lives to hunt again. In the savannah, the smartest hunters are the ones who know when to be brave and when to be gone. Leopards are the introverts of the big cat world, territorial, mostly solitary, and fiercely independent. They converse in scent and subtlety, urine sprays, scratch marks, and a hoarse sawing call that sounds like a carpenter working overtime. When mating season swirls through the grass, ranging toms overlap briefly with females, then slip apart like shadows at dawn. Motherhood is the exception to solitude. The female disappears into a secret den, rock crevice, hollow log, or thorny thicket, and delivers tiny, blind cubs. For weeks, she is a ghost with groceries, hunting softly, moving dens often to confuse hyenas, lions, and pythons. Lessons begin early. Step where the grass doesn't talk, climb before you're chased, freeze when the sun stares. Still, the path to adulthood is steep. Many cubs are lost to hunger, illness, and rival predators. The survivors are the ones who master patience and learn their mother's silent alphabet of survival. Leopards are the pressure valves of the savannah, thinning the overconfident and the unlucky from dozens of species. By caching kills in trees, they redistribute nutrients where scavengers and beetles can join the feast. Their menu is encyclopedic, rodents to antelope, which stabilizes prey populations and dampens boom and bust cycles. Hyper-adaptable, they shift hunting times, targets, and routes when pressure rises, a flexibility that has let them endure from Congo rainforest to sun-baked plains. Yet snares, habitat squeeze, and conflict with people still bite hard. Where corridors remain and communities protect them, the spotted ghost keeps the night in balance. In a world that cheers the loudest roar, the leopard reminds us that power can move like a whisper. It embodies the spirit of survival against all odds, measured in patience, precision, and the courage to disappear.
In the shimmering heat of a sun-scorched savanna, two black-tipped ears rise like tiny flags above the grass. Then, nothing. Silence holds its breath. When the moment breaks, a tawny blur explodes upward, 3 meters of vertical ambition in perfect timing. Meet the caracal, the dryland's ambush artist, bold, confident, and built to win the hardest games nature plays. This is the caracal of southern Africa's semi-deserts and open thorn scrub, from rocky hills to shallow plains laced with acacia. It's the feline that thrives where shade is stingy and the wind smells like dust and stone. Those long, ink-dark ear tufts are unmistakable, and so is its launch. a sudden, silent rise that plucks birds straight out of the sky. Painted by nature in the color of hot sand, the caracal wears a short, dense coat that slides like liquid light across the landscape. Black facial lines sharpen the gaze. White patches beneath the eyes reflect glare, letting those amber pupils read the horizon even at noon. A compact frame hides heavy-duty springs, long, muscular hind legs, a flexible spine, and shoulders wired for instant acceleration. The tail is short, less to snag in thorns, more to pivot on a dime. Ears are tall, mobile dishes tuning to the faintest rustle. The dramatic tufts likely break up the ear's outline and may serve as visual signals in low light when other caracals pass like shadows. Thick pads and toughened skin handle gravel, thorns, and ground hot enough to fry ideas. Water is a luxury. Efficient kidneys and a meat-rich diet mean the cat can go long stretches without a drink, sipping moisture from prey. This is a body sculpted by scarcity, minimal fuss, maximum function. Daily life is a rhythm of stillness and lightning. At dawn and dusk, the caracal works the edges. Termite mounds, thorny bushes, rock fractures. Where cover meets opportunity, it listens more than it looks. Guinea fowl pecking too far from the flock, a scrub hare freezing against a stone, a dove's wing beat giving it away. The cat files each sound like coordinates. When the breeze turns favorable, it slides closer, belly to earth, every step edited. The final move is pure theater. A coiled spring released, paws slashing through air, claws opening like unsheathed punctuation. Birds are snatched mid-flight. Small antelopes can be toppled with a chest-high tackle. Rodents and hares vanish in a swift, silent finish. On scorching days, it retreats to the cool of rock crevices or the shade of shrubs, but in quiet places it will hunt by day too, the desert's mirage made real. Its menu is flexible: rodents, hares, small birds, guinea fowl, and, when opportunity knocks, young antelopes, because in the dry country, the picky go hungry. The caracal is a solo operator. Males and females maintain overlapping home ranges traced on the map with scent. Urine sprays on shrubs, scrapes in dust, and discreet rubs on rock edges. Encounters between adults are brief and cautious, except when courtship softens the rule of distance. Communication is minimal but precise. Soft mews, throaty purrs, a hiss if lines are crossed. Those ear tufts and body angles speak volumes at 20 paces. For a few weeks, a rocky den or an abandoned burrow becomes a nursery. 2 or 3 kittens arrive spotted and wide-eyed, hidden away while the mother hunts and returns with parcels of practice. Small prey to teach the art of the final pounce. Play is training in disguise: stalk, pin, release, repeat. By 9 months, the adolescents graduate, drifting off to sketch their own borders on the map of heat and stone. Ecologically, the caracal is both sculptor and sentinel. It trims rodent populations, prunes flocks of ground-feeding birds, and keeps the energy of the savannah moving from seed to beak to claw. It borrows what the landscape offers: rock cracks for dens, old burrows for shade, and rarely takes more than it needs. Listed globally as least concern, it still runs serious risks. Habitat fragmentation, snares, and conflict where poultry and small livestock tempt a hunter whose instincts are older than fences. In healthy ecosystems, leopards or hyenas may edge it off a kill. Resilience is its real armor. In a land where water is rumor and shade is currency, the caracal is a symbol of elegant grit. It embodies the spirit of survival against all odds, quiet, precise, and unstoppable when the air itself seems to burn.
Across Botswana's golden plains, mottled shadows flow through the grass, ears like satellite dishes, legs like metronomes. The African wild dog hunts with patience and a pulse that never quits. When the leader flicks a glance, the savannah itself seems to move. Meet the African wild dog of Botswana's open savannas and floodplain edges, a relentless endurance hunter painted in black, gold, and white. With white-tipped tails that wave like follow-me flags and oversized ears tuned to Rumor FM, they turn wide country into their hunting track. Against all odds, this is the team that plays to win. Sculpted by miles, not moments, the African wild dog wears a splattered coat no two individuals share, nature's camouflage in sunlight and dust. Long, lean legs and a deep chest pack, big lungs and a strong heart for marathon chases, while the coat stays short to spill heat in the furnace of midday. The ears, broad, rounded radiators, do double duty, catching whispers across the grass and venting heat like open windows. Look closer at the feet. 4 toes, no dew claws, a design that shaves weight and maximizes stride efficiency. Jaws are built for quick work. When a chase ends, feeding is fast and efficient, leaving little for thieves. That white tail tip? A visual beacon in tall grass, keeping the line intact when the sprint stretches into a kilometer or two. Tough pads, scar-proof skin, and a low, springy gait round out a body engineered for endurance. Less a sprinter, more a long-distance tactician. Hunts begin at first light or in the cool of late afternoon with a quiet rally. Chirps, twitters, tales describing hopeful arcs. A leader studies wind and cover, the pack fans wide like an invisible net. Impalas are the dream quarry here, fast, agile, and perfectly sized for a team to outlast. Across the horizon, a calm herd grazes, red-brown bodies and crescent horns poised over pale bellies, ears flicking, eyes bright. Then a glance, almost a wink, and the dogs erupt. They flow, not crash, silent footsteps, measured breaths, a relay of persistence. One dog presses, another takes the line, then another. In minutes, the chase concludes. Swift, clean, unforgiving. Vervet monkeys high in acacias witness the rush, not on the menu, but too smart to relax in a country where everything stays alert. After the meal comes water, shade, and a tumble of social grooming. The hottest hours are for rest, the cool returns, and the track opens again. This is a family business. A dominant pair usually breeds, and everyone else becomes an aunt, an uncle, a babysitter, a courier of calories. Before big runs, they vote with sneezes, more momentum. A dusty democracy discovered in Botswana. Mating season brings a sharper edge. Rival males test one another with low growls and quick, bristling face-offs, while roving packs may clash at territorial seams. After roughly 70 days, the dominant female gives birth in a den. Pups, tiny, velvety, eyes squeezed shut, arrive into a world of constant care. Adults take shifts guarding and foraging. Successful hunters return to the den to regurgitate warm meals for pups and stay-at-home sitters. By a few weeks, lessons begin as play. Mock chases, tug-of-war with twigs, and mini drills in listening to tail signals. Soon, the black-masked youngsters shadow the adults, learning step by step how to turn landscape into strategy. Wild dogs are balance keepers. By focusing on medium antelopes, often targeting the weak or unwary, they shape herds and keep disease from gaining ground. Their high hunting success means little waste. Leftovers feed hyenas, vultures, and a whole cleanup crew. But resilience has rivals. Lions kill adults and pups, hyenas steal meals, and diseases like distemper and rabies can flash through a pack. Habitat fragmentation and snares tighten the odds. Still, in Botswana's vast mosaics and transboundary corridors, protection, vaccination campaigns, and community stewardship give these runners of the open a fighting chance. The African wild dog is a living emblem of teamwork, speed braided with trust. In Botswana's wide light, it embodies survival against all odds, reminding us that together is the strongest way to move through a dangerous world. Under a bronze savannah sunset, a black and silver shadow swaggers through the grass as if danger pays it rent. A hiss cleaves the quiet. Cobra. The honey badger lowers its head, unfazed, a tiny tank ready to test the world again. Meet the honey badger, Mellivora capensis, of Africa's open savannas and thorny scrub, a legend stitched from grit and audacity. Small by size, enormous by reputation, it turns survival against all odds into a daily routine, one fearless step at a time. Built low and wide, the honey badger is compact power on 4 legs, 60 to 70 centimeters of muscle, topped with a pale, silvery mantle that runs from crown to tail like a warning flag. Nature painted it in contrast, charcoal below, ash above, an aposematic billboard that says, "Think twice." The skull is broad, jaws heavy, and teeth designed for crunching through chitin, bone, and beehive architecture. Up front, long, scythe-like claws, some over 4 centimeters, are mounted on forelimbs thick as crowbars, sculpted by evolution for digging into tunnels, termite mounds, and trouble. The skin is unusually thick, up to around 6 millimeters, and loose, a clever armor that resists thorns, teeth, and stingers. Even when grabbed, the badger can twist inside its own hide to spin and bite back. Small ears minimize snagging. Coarse fur shrugs off heat and dust, and powerful shoulders anchor an engine of torque. Add a scent gland loaded with a skunk-level stink bomb, and you have a creature equipped not only to break into dinner, but to convince everyone else to eat somewhere else. Daylight bakes the flats, so the honey badger rides the cooler hours, crepuscular into nocturnal, slipping from the borrowed doorway of an aardvark burrow like a night shift clocking in. It hunts by nose, sweeping the ground for rodents, beetle grubs, scorpions, eggs, birds, and lizards, then graduates to advanced coursework, venomous snakes. The technique is workmanlike: harass, feint, and lunge for the head, backed by that thick hide and a surprising tolerance to venom. A bad bite can drop it for a nap, but attendants do not disturb. It often wakes, shakes, and resumes the meal. Honey and wax sit high on the menu. Badgers tear into wild hives with all the subtlety of a crowbar wrapped in determination, wearing the sting storm like confetti. Local lore and occasional observations suggest they may follow greater honey guides to hidden hives. Whether guided or freelancing, the result is the same: ruined comb and a satisfied grin. Studies and crafty individuals in captivity hint at problem-solving smarts, using sticks, stones, and pure, stubborn engineer energy to pry open locks. Range is a straight-line poem. They'll cover kilometers in a single evening, a low silhouette sliding from grass to gravel like a rumor with claws. The honey badger prefers the solo life, one determined traveler per horizon. Home ranges overlap, and neighbors pass like ships at night, exchanging grunts and growls if boundaries blur. Males and females meet briefly to mate. The rest is mostly mutual avoidance. Motherhood, though, is a long game. A female births one, sometimes two, cubs deep within a burrow, nursing them in darkness while teaching the syllabus of survival, digging, raiding, and snake dodging. She shifts dens often to outsmart maps in a predator's head. Cubs trail her for months, learning by imitation and by sitting very still when she says so. Communication is practical: snorts to warn, rattles to threaten, and the nuclear option, scent, when argument needs punctuation. Predators test them: wild dogs, leopards, even lions, but tests come with fees. Thanks to loose armor and a don't-start-what-you-can't-finish attitude, many attackers decide their dinner is better found elsewhere. As a mesopredator, the honey badger trims rodent numbers, raids termite mounds, and keeps venomous snakes from becoming neighborhood bullies. Its digging aerates soil, turns over seeds, and reuses old burrows that later shelter owls, jackals, and mongooses. Hive raids scatter resources for a small army of recyclers. Ants, beetles, and birds cash in on the leftovers. Adaptations, armor-like skin, formidable claws, venom tolerance, and problem-solving brains make it wildly versatile. Officially listed as least concern, it still collides with snares, roads, and conflicts with beekeepers. Where communities protect both bees and badgers, the savannah's ledger stays balanced. In a world that worships size, the honey badger proves that willpower weighs more than kilograms. It embodies the spirit of the savannah, unyielding, inventive, and brave enough to keep walking when every odd says stop. In the tall grass of the Mara savanna, patience has a face, and it has amber eyes. The lions have been watching since yesterday, letting the wind carry their scent away. When the herd forgets the river's terror and drops its head to graze, silence tightens like a bowstring. Meet the African lion of the East African savannas, the Mara Serengeti Plain, where migration beats like a drum. Here, lionesses perfect the art of disappearing, while manned males loom like storm clouds at the edge of a sky made of grass. One trait sets them apart instantly: that mane, a living crown and billboard, saying I'm healthy, I'm dangerous, and this territory is taken. Sculpted by evolution for close quarters power, lions wear tawny coats painted to vanish at dawn and dusk. Females are sleek sprinters. Males carry heavy manes that darken with age and testosterone, insulating the neck in fights and advertising strength from a distance. Broad paws are padded for quiet approach, the toes tipped with retractable claws that stay razor-sharp until the final pounce. Forelimbs are thick with muscle for grappling. A lion's handshake is basically a tackle. Their skulls house shearing carnassial teeth and a bite built to clamp windpipes or crush the back of the neck. Night belongs to them. Oversized pupils, a glowing tapetum lucidum, and whiskers sensitive enough to map the dark. Even the tongue is a tool. Sandpaper rough papillae strip meat from bone like a living file. Cubs carry faint spots, camouflage for a childhood spent darting between legs and grass. From tail tuft to dew claw, the lion is an instrument designed to end a chase fast. Daylight is for shade and strategy. Lions nap away the heat and come alive when the air cools. Tonight, a zebra herd grazes, heads down, exhaustion softening edges after yesterday's river crossing. The lionesses work the wind, edging closer in a slow-motion ballet of shoulder blades and intent. Then, coordinated eruption. One zebra stumbles under a tripping paw, a second clamps the throat, and the long road ends in a heartbeat that feeds many. Dominant males muscle in first, then lionesses, then cubs, who hesitate at the perimeter, learning the harsh order of dinner in this kingdom. Hyenas drift in, laughter like neon in the dusk, eyes bright and patient. They wait for their moment, because in the savannah's ledger, almost nothing goes to waste. Within hours, bones gleam white on the grass, a clean page for the next story. And when bellies are full, the pride withdraws toward the riverbank, where the cool air smells like mud and moonlight. Lions are social in a way big cats rarely are. A pride is a coalition of kin, resident females, their cubs, and one to several males who defend the borders. Lionesses are the long-term heart. Daughters often stay, reinforcing a matriarchal network that threads through generations. They groom to seal bonds, rasping tongues combing dust and stress from each other's coats. Adults greet with head rubs, mane against mane, cheek against cheek, a scent-sharing handshake that says, "We're us." Cubs, still faintly freckled, explode into tumbling play that doubles as training. Ambush, pin, release, repeat. Lionesses tolerate the chaos with patience edged in vigilance. Every game is a lesson, every lesson a rehearsal for life. Coalition males bring muscle and menace to intruders, but their tenure is temporary. New males mean danger. Takeovers can trigger infanticide, a brutal reset that drives females back into heat. Through all this, the pride's strength is its unity. Loyalty as important as claws, coordination as powerful as any bite. As apex predators, lions redraw the map of fear, shaping where herds graze and when they move. They cull the unwell and the unwary, preventing overgrazing and keeping migrations dynamic. Every kill ripples outward. Hyenas, jackals, vultures, and even beetles finish what lions begin, recycling nutrients into the soil. Lions are also barometers for ecosystems. When prey declines or habitat shrinks, they pay first. Across much of their range, they're vulnerable, pressured by human-wildlife conflict, snares, and disappearing corridors. Community conservancies, rangers, and transboundary protection give them a fighting chance to keep doing the job the savannah needs them to do. In a world where survival is a razor-thin margin, the lion embodies the spirit of the wild savannah. Fierce, familial, and unflinchingly honest. Strength here is not just the strike, it's the bond that holds through dust, hunger, and the long night. Dusk leans over the Mara River. Dust hangs like smoke. Hooves drum the bank, then pause. Silence, except for the low cough of hippos and the hiss of current wrapping around hidden teeth. The wildebeest go first. One leaps, then 100, then 1,000. Water erupts. Crocodiles rise like broken shadows, jaws open, white and terrible. A calf loses its footing, swept sideways. Its mother wheels, horns down, slashing at the water. The crocodile lunges, misses by inches, catches only a tail switch. The pair claw forward, scramble up the slick mud, and stand trembling in a rain of spray. Beside them, a zebra picks a narrow channel, reading the ripples, stepping where the current loosens. Wisdom is sometimes just a better guess. On the far bank, lions flatten into tawny commas, patience wound tight. The herd compresses. Panic makes edges. A young wildebeest breaks from the flow. Wrong choice. Dust explodes. The pride closes. And yet from behind, the mass surges, a living tide that forces lions to split and gamble. One kill, many survivors. The river keeps its due. So does the grass. Morning lifts over Botswana's wetlands, the Okavango shining like spilled sky. Red lechwe skim the shallows, their hooves made for water sprint. Wild dogs ghost the reeds in formation, ears pivoting, eyes bright with strategy. The pack moves like a single thought. They find impala on a flooded tongue of land. A rush, a turn. A clean, brutal efficiency. Hyenas arrive late, laughing like cracked porcelain. Tension threads the air. The dogs take their share and melt away with what they can carry. The rest becomes the marsh's tax. Vultures, storks, and a dozen small mouths the camera never sees. Lions here use islands as trapdoors. Cheetahs take the open corridors. Elephants redraw the delta with every slow footstep, breaking channels that refill, making pools where fish gather and fish eagles cut the sky with a scream. Predators, prey, engineers, and opportunists. One engine, many pistons. Some win, some lose. All are necessary. This is the truth the wild repeats. Survival is a vote counted every hour. Courage, speed, memory, and a will that refuses to fold. And our part? Keep the stage standing. Protect corridors, back rangers and communities. Make sure a snare doesn't end a story we could have saved. If this journey gripped you, tap like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next expedition. Tell us in the comments where you're watching from and which moment hit hardest, the leap, the standoff, or the rescue. Share this with someone who can hear a fish eagle just from a description. The river flows, the grass returns, the stars change places, and the cycle, fierce, fragile, beautiful, goes on.